Two circular iron discs are of same thickness. Diameter of A is twice that of B. Moment of inertia of A compared to that of B is. See, both are of same material, iron, density is same, they have same thickness. So mass is directly proportional to area, right? So MA by MB should be area of first disc. See, diameter of A is twice that of B. So area of B, if I take radius of B as R, then area of B is pi r square. Area of A will be pi into 2r whole square. So that should be pi get cancelled, r square get cancelled, we'll get 4. Which implies MA equals 4 times MB. Now IA by IB is equal to MA by MB into, see, mass, moment of inertia of the disk, they are disks, so it should be half mr square. So half also get cancelled, that's why I had not written. For your clarity, I am writing this. So area is what? 2r square. This is r square. So MA by MB is 4. Half get cancelled. R square get cancelled. 2 square is again 4. That will be 16. So IA is 16 times IB. That is option D. They are of same material, thickness is same, so area into thickness will give you volume. Mass by volume should be constant, right? Yes, we shall move on to next. Moment of inertia of a uniform rod about perpendicular axis passing through one end is I1. The same rod bent into ring and its moment of inertia about its diameter is I2. Then I1 by I2 is. See, what is this I1? This is a direct question. So there is a rod. Moment of inertia of a rod about perpendicular axis passing through one end. So it should be, axis should be perpendicular to length and it should be about one end, right? So moment of inertia about this one is I1. So I1 should be ml square by 12, right? I1 should be ml square by 12. Now, what is I2? It is bent in the form of a ring. So when it is bent in the form of a ring, circumference of the ring 2 pi r should be equal to L. R will be equal to L by 2 pi. And moment of inertia of a ring about the diameter, see, about axis of the ring, moment of inertia is mr square. So about diameter, it should be half of it. So it should be mr square by 2. Right? We have taken small r. So let us take small r. Substitute for r. What is it? I2 equals m by 2 into L by 2 pi whole square. So that will be ml square divided by, this will be 4 pi square into 2, that is 8 pi square. Now I1 by I2 should be ml square get cancelled. So 12 comes to denominator, 8 pi square goes to numerator. Yes, made a mistake here. This is ml square by 3. About this axis, it is ml square by 12. Right? So please correct it. So this should become 8 pi square by 3. That's it. So that is option D. So this is direct formula. This is also direct formula. About diameter, it is mr square by 2. Why do you complicate the things? Already they have given thickness is equal. So more is the volume, more will be the mass. Because both are same material, density is same. So more is the area, more is the mass. That's all. Try to eliminate the number of variables, don't increase. Mr square about an axis passing through its axis. But here they have asked the diameter. So if this is the ring, about this axis it is mr square. So they're asking about this axis. This should be mr square by 2. Take one more. This is also mr square by 2. So sum of these two should be this. Yes. Hope you have taken this. Shall move on to next. 3 rings, each of mass m and radius r, are arranged as shown in figure. Moment of inertia of the system is about AB. You have to calculate. See, for this ring, it is along diameter. So for this ring, it is along the tangential axis. For this ring also, it is along the tangential axis. So each is of radius r. So this is r. This is also r. So moment of inertia I should be equal to moment of inertia of first ring. Call this as second. This is third. I1 plus I2 plus I3. See, I1 is ring about diameter. Just now we used it should be mr square by 2. Correct. Plus I2 is what? See, about this axis it is mr square by 2. Right? So it is mr square by 2 plus. See, we need about this axis. Which axis? AB. So what is this distance? It is r. So use parallaxis theorem. Moment of inertia about center of mass is mr square by 2 plus moment of inertia of this portion. So it should be mass into distance between the two axes square. So this is your parallel axis theorem. Right. Similarly, for the third one also same thing. Mr square by 2 plus mr square. So what will you get? 1, 2, 3. 3 times mr square by 2 plus mr square plus mr square, 2 mr square. That should be 7 mr square by 2. That is option D. Yes. Hope you have taken this. Shall we move on to next? Find torque of a force F equals minus 3i cap plus j cap plus 5k cap acting at point R equals 7i cap plus 3j cap plus k cap. See, after all, torque is what? Tau equals R cross F. So you can draw determinant for it. I cap, j cap, k cap. In the first row, components of R 7, 3, 1. Second row, minus 3, 1, 5. expand this. So tau equals I cap into 3 5s are 15 minus 1 1s are 1 minus j cap into 7 5s are 35 plus 3 plus k cap into 7 1s are 7 minus of minus will be plus 9. So it will be 14 I cap minus 38 j cap plus 16 k cap. Direct question. Remember, it is R cross F, not F cross R. Yes, simple one. Shall move on to next. A force of minus F k cap acts on O, the origin of coordinate system. The torque about 1 comma minus 1 is. So force is what? Minus F into k cap. R is what? 1 comma minus 1. That is I cap minus j cap. Right? So torque is R cross F. See, here you can do it without drawing determinant. So it will be minus F into k cap cross I minus j. K cross I is j. So it should be minus F into k cross I, that is j cap. Minus into minus will be plus F into k cross j. See, j cross k is I. J cross k is I. K cross j should be minus I cap. So it should be minus F into I cap plus j cap. Yes, made a mistake here. Yes, please correct this. This should be reverse. So first it should be I minus j R cross F, right? So I cap minus j cap cross minus F into k cap. Now I cross k will be minus j. So F into j minus into minus will be plus. J cross k is I. So F into I cap plus j cap should be exactly opposite of what we had got. So it should be R cross F, not F cross. So it should be option B. See, cross product is non-commutative. Remember that. That is, A cross B is not equal to B cross A. Yes. Hope you have taken this. Shall move on to next. The instantaneous angular position of a point on the rotating wheel is given by equation theta of t . See, torque is equivalent of force. So torque should be I into alpha, just like force is mass into acceleration. Right? So when alpha becomes 0, then torque also becomes 0. Moment of inertia cannot become 0. So theta equals 2t cube minus 60 square. This is angular displacement. Differentiate this with respect to time. D theta by dt, this will be omega. Omega equals, differentiate it, 6t square minus 12t. Differentiate it again. we'll get alpha, that is d omega by dt, that is nothing but d square theta by dt square, that is 12t minus 12. So torque is equal to 0 when alpha is equal to 0. So which means 12t minus 12 equals 0. So 12t equals 12, t equals 1 second. That is option B. Yes, hope you have taken this. Shall move on to next. A string is wound round the rim of mounted flywheel of mass 20 kg and radius 20 centimeter. A steady pull of 25 Newton is applied to the card. Neglecting friction and mass of the string, angular acceleration of the wheel in radian per second is. So there is a wheel which is mounted by a support. A string is wound over this and a weight is added to it. 25 Newton force is applied. So radius is given, it is 20 centimeter. So this distance is 0.2 meter. 20 centimeter means 0.2 meter. This is what they have given. Now what will be angular acceleration? So torque should be equal to I into alpha. So alpha should be equal to torque divided by I. See, torque is what? Force into perpendicular distance F into R. Moment of inertia for the disk about this axis it is rotating perpendicular to its plane passing through center of mass. So for disk it should be half. Wheel means it is disk. mr square. So that will turn out to be 2f divided by mr. Substitute and simplify. 2 into 25 divided by 20 into 0.2. So 0.2 ones are 0.2 10 times. 10 into 25 is 250. 250 by 20 is 25 by 2. That is 12.5 radian per second square. It is option C. Yes, hope you have taken this. Shall move on to next. Moment of inertia of a body about given axis is 1.2 kg meter square. Initially, the body is at rest. In order to produce rotational kinetic energy of 1500 joule, an angular acceleration of 25 radian per second square must be applied about the axis for the duration 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. So for what time acceleration should act? See, very simple one. You know that kinetic energy in linear motion is half mv square. So in rotational motion, kinetic energy is half I omega square. So calculate what should be omega for this. So kinetic energy should be 1500. That should be half. I is given 1.2 to omega square. So send this to this side. Omega square is 3000 divided by 1.2. So that should be 2500. See, 30,000 by 12 is 2500. So omega should be 50 radian per second. So to gain this much angular velocity, for what time acceleration should be 25 radian per second square? You need to find duration, time. And it is given it starts from rest. So use equation of motion, omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha into t. Just like v is equal to u plus at. Replace all English letters by Greek letters except time. So omega is 50. Omega naught is, it starts from rest, 0, plus alpha is 25 into t. So 25 t is 50, t is 2 seconds. So simple. So we have taken this. Shall move on to next. A mass m hangs with the help of a string wrapped around a pulley on a frictionless bearing. Pulley has mass m and radius r. Assuming pulley to be perfect uniform circular disc, acceleration of mass m if string does not slip on the pulley just after the mass is released is. So there is a pulley. You can assume it to be a disc, uniform disc. So mass of the pulley is m. Now from here another mass is suspended. Its mass is also m. So weight of this acts downwards. You need to find acceleration of mass m. See, torque exerted by this weight is mgr. This should produce torque in the disc. So disc torque in the disc is moment of inertia of the disc, that is half m into r square, plus due to this mass there is moment of inertia about this point, about the center of the disc. I'll call it as O, right? So due to the hanging mass there is one more term, that should be mr square. Why mr square? This distance is r only, right? So mass, its weight is acting this way. So this mass is located at a distance r from the axis of rotation. So it should be mr square into alpha. See, torque is I into alpha. So this torque is F into R, right? Moment. Left hand side is moment, right hand side is torque. Moment of force is nothing but torque. Now you can cancel M throughout, R throughout. So what we are left with? G is equal to half R plus R, 3 by 2 R into G. Sorry, into alpha. So what do we get? Alpha equals 2G by 3R. But A is equal to R into alpha, right? A is linear acceleration. We need linear acceleration of the mass. So it will be accelerated downwards with acceleration A. How much it will be? A is equal to R is R only. Alpha is 2G by 3R. So what happens? RR get cancelled. We'll get 2G by 3. That is option C. Where is R in mg? Yeah, it's a formula. A is equal to R alpha. Relation between linear and angular variables. And mgr is torque. Torque exerted by this force. So that should be equal to moment of inertia into its angular acceleration. Right. Shall move on to next. Two men support uniform horizontal beam at its two ends. If one of them suddenly lets go, the force exerted by the beam on the other man will remain unaffected, increase, decrease, become unequal to the force exerted by him on the beam. So two men are supporting uniform horizontal beam at the two ends. One of them just suddenly lets go. What happens to force exerted by the beam on the other man? Let's say this person goes off. Right? So originally, what happens? There is reaction due to first man, there is reaction due to second man. So what do we get? R plus R, upward forces should be equal to downward force W. So R should be equal to W by 2. Right? So when one man goes off, then let us say new one will be R dash. Then what happens? This will start rotating this way. Let us say angular acceleration is alpha. Right? So there are two forces, W and R. Under the action of these two, it has rotational motion. Right? So W minus R dash is equal to W by G will give you mass. W by G will give you mass into acceleration. Correct? W by G will give you mass into acceleration. Now, if we take moments about this point, let me call this point as A. Taking moments about A. What do we get? I'll just take it to next slide. Taking moments about A, what do we get? Say there is W here acting this way. R dash is acting this way. W into L by 2. So this distance is L by 2. This produces moment in the clockwise direction. Right? Now, it is nothing but a uniform rod. So for uniform rod, moment of inertia should be M L square by 3. Right? Here M is what? W by G. Right? M is W by G into L square by 3 into alpha. Correct? See, this is what? Moment. Mass into this. See, ml square by 3 is moment of inertia of a rod about one of its ends. So about this end, moment of inertia is this. See, there is a uniform rod of mass m about an axis passing through its end and perpendicular to its length. It should be ml square by 3. At the place of m, I have substituted w by g. Okay. Now, L square by 3. L square by 3, I have kept it as it is. This will give you a moment of inertia. I into alpha is torque. Right? I into alpha is torque. Got it? See, they have not given mass. That's why I have written it as W by G. Right? So I'm taking moments about A. No big deal here. See, M L square into alpha. So moment of inertia into alpha will give you torque. So this torque will be in this direction, right? So anti-clockwise moment should be equal to clockwise moment. Clockwise moment is due to weight. Anti-clockwise moment is due to moment of inertia, right? So equate the two, solve for alpha, WW get cancelled, LL get cancelled. So it will be 3G by 2L. Alpha is equal to 3G by 2L, right? But again, what do we need to calculate? Reaction. So for reaction calculation, we need to use value of A in this equation, right? So let us call this as 1. Now, A is equal to distance into alpha. What is the distance? L by 2 into alpha. A is equal to R alpha, right? So distance is L by 2 into alpha. That will be L by 2 into 3G by 2L. So L will get cancelled. We get 3G by 4. So acceleration will be 3G by 4. Now substitute this in equation 1, right? So 1 becomes, what will happen to 1? W minus R dash equals W by G into A. W minus R dash equals W by G into A is what? 3G by 4. So GG goes off. So W minus R dash equals 3W by 4. So R dash is equal to W by 4. This should be the answer. So R dash is W by 4. Originally it was W by 2. So R dash is less than R. So that must be option C. So it will decrease, right? You know, big deal here. So originally there are two reactions. Originally there are two reactions, R and R, one at each end. So those two should be added up to weight. They should balance weight. So R should be equal to W by 2. This is the original one. Once one of them let go, so one man goes off, then entire reaction is here only. So R dash, so it will be W minus R dash. Now it starts moving this way. It will have angular acceleration in the clockwise direction. So W minus R dash should be equal to W by G into A, right? W by G into A. Now Udit, just imagine the situation when it comes down, this end moves up. When this end comes down, this end moves up. So reaction should reduce. So weight on the person should reduce. Common sense. Correct, no? So when this comes down, this moves up. A moves up when B comes down. So taking moments about A, what do we get? Moment due to W about A, W into L by 2, that should be equal to, so moment of inertia into angular acceleration. Moment of inertia is M L square by 3. At the place of M, I have substituted W by G. So the WW get cancelled, LL get cancelled, you'll get alpha equals 3G by 2L. But A is R into alpha, L is what? L by 2, R is L by 2. So it will be L by 2 into alpha, so you'll get it to be 3G by 4. Substitute this in the first equation, you'll get R dash is equal to W by 4. Originally it was W by 2, now it is W by 4. So R dash is less than. Hope you have taken this. Shall move on to next. For a system to be in equilibrium, torques acting on it must balance. This is true only if torques are taken about center of the system, center of mass of the system, any point on the system, or outside it. So for system to be in equilibrium, net torque should be 0. So when you say torque, about which point you are taking torque, that matters. See, this will be true when you take torque about any point. Doesn't matter whether it is on the system or outside the system. So torque about any point should be 0. This is condition for equilibrium. Yes, hope you have taken this. You can take it about any point, any reference point. About origin you can take. Origin can be outside the body. So that's a general rule. Next, a cockroach is moving with a velocity v in anti-clockwise direction on the rim of a disk of radius r of mass m. Moment of inertia of the disk about the axis is I, and it is rotating in clockwise direction with an angular velocity omega. If the cockroach stops, angular velocity of the disk will be. So disk is rotating in clockwise direction, cockroach is moving in anti-clockwise direction. Note down the problem, we shall take it to the next slide to solve it. See, cockroach is within the system, disk is rotating, so no external torque involved. Hope you have taken this. See, in the entire problem, there is no external torque. So when there is no external torque, angular momentum should be constant. So initial angular momentum of the system should be equal to final angular momentum. Right? Now we have a disk. So radius of the disk is r, and cockroach is moving anti-clockwise on the rim. Velocity of the cockroach is this way. Let us say mass of the cockroach is m. Now disk is rotating this way, right, with angular velocity omega. When the cockroach stops, let us say omega dash be angular velocity. Now one thing you should notice, initially cockroach is going this way, whereas disk is rotating this way. So their angular moment are oppositely directed. So initial angular momentum of the system is angular momentum of the disk. I'll write one more step before direct substitution. Angular momentum of the disk is L disk minus L of cockroach. Right? See, why minus? Because angular momentum, the angular velocity of cockroach is anti-clockwise, whereas angular velocity of disk is clockwise. They're in opposite direction. That should be equal to final angular momentum. Final angular momentum is when the cockroach comes to rest. So it will be moment of inertia of the disk into omega dash plus moment of inertia of cockroach into omega dash. Why same omega dash? Because cockroach is at rest with respect to disk. So with respect to center of the disk, both are with same angular velocity. Now substitute angular velocity of the angular momentum of the disk is I omega. Angular momentum of cockroach is mvr. Correct? If you remember, in Bohr's theory, you use it. mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. That should be equal to. See, when it comes to halt, both are in same direction. So you can add them. I can take omega dash common. Moment of inertia of the disk is, they have given it as I. Omega dash I'll take common. Moment of inertia of cockroach about the origin O is m into r square. It's a point mass. You can consider cockroach as a point mass. This is total moment of inertia into omega dash. So omega dash equals I omega minus mvr divided by I plus mr square. So that is option C. Hope you have taken this. Yes. Hope you have taken this. Shall move on to next. A small particle of mass m is projected at an angle theta with x-axis with an initial velocity v0 in the xy plane as shown in figure. At a time t less than v0 sin theta by g, angular momentum of the particle is half mg v0 t square cos theta I cap minus mg v0 t square cos theta j cap mg v0 t cos theta k cap minus half mg v0 t square cos theta k cap. Note on this, I'll take it to next slide, solve it. See, v0 sin theta by g is time taken to reach maximum height for a projectile. So time is less than that, so it is within maximum height. So that means it is traveling upwards. Yes. Hope you have taken this. See, the given situation is something like this. There is a projectile. It is projected at an angle theta with the horizontal with initial velocity v0. So at some point, see, v0 sin theta by g is the limit for time. So before that means somewhere here, let us consider a point p of x comma y. This is the position. At this position, its velocity is some v. So v can be written as vx plus vy, x component plus y component. X component is v0 sin theta into I cap, correct? Sorry, v0 cos theta into I cap plus. In the y direction, there is acceleration. See, there is only one acceleration acting, that is acceleration due to gravity. So in x direction, there is no acceleration. So for vy, I can write v0 sin theta into I cap minus gt to j cap, correct? See, this is u plus at in y direction. Y component of velocity is v sin theta, and a becomes minus g because g is downwards and particle is moving upwards, right? If you don't remember projectile motion, don't take any exam, better. Right? So now the position of the particle r can be written as, so position vector of point P is xi cap plus yj cap. That should be horizontal component of velocity into time taken. Horizontal component of velocity is v0 cos theta into time taken is t into I cap plus vertical component of velocity into time taken v0 sin theta minus gt into t into j cap. Yes. So here in vertical direction there is acceleration Okay, shall do one thing. We'll do it little in detail. So x is equal to what? Horizontal displacement. This is v naught cos theta into t. But y is equal to what? V naught sin theta into t minus half gt square. Correct? So ut minus half gt square. This should be the case. So what will be r? R is equal to v naught cos theta into t into I cap plus v naught sin theta into t minus half dt square into j cap. This should be r. Now we need to find angular momentum. Angular momentum should be r cross mv. So I can write it as m into r cross v. M is scalar anyways. So r is here, v is here. So I cross I is 0, I cross j is 0. But I cross j is k. So this multiplied by this. What do we get? V naught square sin theta cos theta into t minus v naught gt. Okay, write this t here. Cos theta into k cap. I cross j is k. Then this into this. J cross I is minus k. So it should be minus k cap into v naught sin theta t into v naught cos theta t, v naught square t sin theta cos theta minus half v naught gt square. This is also t square into cos theta. Now what happens? This term and first term, they get cancelled. So this will become plus, this is minus. So you'll get it to be, I'll write it at the top, L equals minus half v naught gt square cos theta into k cap. This is what you get. That is option D. So quickly note down homework. Homework is question number 1 to 15.